Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra versus Samsung Galaxy Z Fold speed test. Let's find out which one comes out on top in terms of everyday performance. So what is up, guys? Nick here, helping you to master your technology, and today we're going to continue the Galaxy S25 Ultra series. I can't believe I haven't compared it to the Z Fold 6, which also has those same camera rings. It has the S25 Ultra, and is basically, these are two of the highest priced Samsung phones you can buy today. So let's go ahead and begin the speed test with a boot up in 3, 2, go. And one thing I always liked about both of these is they're kind of like in that same rectangular shape. It's kind of like, I would say the Z Fold 6 is the S25 Ultra of the foldables from Samsung. It's like their best foldable, and the Samsung S25 Ultra is their best regular smartphone, well, slab style. And you see with the 8 Elite chipset, 12 gigabytes of RAM, there's 12 gigs on both. The Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra does turn on faster than that of the Z Fold 6. It also does have a much larger front screen. However, once we take it into the inside, then that's where things change for the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 6, giving you an even larger screen than that of the Galaxy S25 Ultra. So here we are at the home screens, and you can see basically everything is buttery smooth on both. When we go ahead and look at the biometric, you'll see it's pretty different. The Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra has the ultrasonic in-display fingerprint sensor, which is quite nice, but I think for reliability purposes, I do prefer the one on the Galaxy Z Fold 6. It's actually on the side. It's a hardware physical key, and it's pretty easy to go ahead and get into this key right here. You just don't really miss too much with this one. It's in a really good location. And I'm not saying the S25 Ultras is bad. It's definitely not bad. It's really good, actually. But I do find myself preferring physical hardware usually over, on display personally. But that's really just a personal preference. Both of them are very fast to get in, and you shouldn't have no issues either way. Although I think the Z Fold 6 might be a little bit more quick in terms of, like, you don't even have to look at the phone. You could literally be in your pocket, eyes closed. Just kind of hold your finger there and the phone is unlocked. You see that? Like, it's off here. We can have it like fully in the pocket, closed, thumb right there, and the phone's unlocked. With this one, you can kind of pull that action off, but you got to know where that fingerprint is. See, like right there, I had to look and I missed on that initial launch. So I would say getting into the phone speed-wise, the speed of getting into it's going to be quicker on the Z Fold 6. So when it comes to just the One UI versions, we are actually on One UI 6 here. Samsung has not pushed out the One UI 7 for the Z Fold 6 yet. And this is one of the things that still irks me to this day about Samsung phones. They don't usually all get it in all the regions at the same time, the software updates. It's really annoying. And it definitely makes the experience feel a little bit less like the same as like their top competitor. You know who I'm talking about. So I definitely wish that one day Samsung can get it to where all these phones have more seamless updates where they all get it at the same time. It doesn't matter the model. That is the issue I'm still seeing with this brand. So let me go ahead and close everything out here. All right, guys. So let's go ahead and go into calendar on both phones. And you could see, I think it might have been the Z Fold. I'm not sure. On both of these, though, they do have different layouts, though. You could see much more here on the Z Fold 6. Similar like content on the left, but it's definitely more cramped on a slab style. Let's go on to the clock here. You could see no major difference. We'll go to world clock on both. How about stopwatch and timers? Those are just basic apps. There shouldn't be no major differences here. The calculators definitely look a little bit different on these different One UI versions, but in terms of speed of launching, not a massive difference. Let's hit weather here. And that seemed to pop open nicer on the Galaxy S25 Ultra, but you could see the more tablet layout here on the right. So if you're wondering what is the better phone to pick, that's a whole different video in and of itself, but the S25 Ultra feels a little more polished to me, a little bit more refined. Whereas the Z Fold 6 is working on it and is definitely a lot better than earlier editions. And it's definitely ready for prime time. So if you want a nice foldable phone, this is one of the more polished ones out here on the right. And you could see more content on a lot of things you're doing. And you'll see right here, if we go into the Play Store, you'll see we still have the side-by-side view. Even though the Z Fold is loading up a little bit more content, it doesn't seem to be struggling at all. That was faster on the left. Even in these sub menus here, let's go ahead and swipe out, and we'll go into X on both. And you'll see some applications don't really help us out too much. Like here on X, you'll see it's bigger, but it's not really displaying much more content on the Galaxy Z Fold 6. So let me go ahead and swipe up out of there. But one nice thing though is that these are both 120 Hz adaptive refresh LTPO displays. So we did have a pop-up for a notification there. So you know what? Let me go ahead and redo Instagram, and we'll do that again because I did have a notification. You can see it was about the same. Now the layouts here are definitely a little bit different. You'll have like the sidebar. You'll be able to see bigger pictures here on the right. But as you see, as I scroll, there's actually one more row of content here. So it's just like a size difference here, not really seeing way more content on the right. So depending on the app, having a foldable phone doesn't always benefit you, but definitely the size does. You can see Amazon look to be first on the left if we swipe up out of here. Okay, guys, so let's go ahead and head over here into YouTube. And we're going to go over here to the trending tab for both. Let's hit trending. We'll hit trending here. And let me close out these previously watching videos. We'll scroll over here to music. And we'll go over here to gaming. And how about movies? And as we scroll down, you'll see both of them are very smooth. I like how on the Samsung Z Fold, you can see like the whole text to the right and then the picture on the left. I feel like that's a little bit easier to read. A little bit less, like it just feels a little bit easier when doing that, because this kind of feels like I got to see the whole picture and keep scrolling. Here I get like a nice long title, but that's just kind of an experience thing. In terms of performance though, here you'll see they just kind of do really, really well in this aspect. That's one of the best things about both these. They are like the best phones for YouTube watching. Let's go into Groupon, and we'll just do approximate here while using the app. Let's hit this. We'll hit continue. And because of those loads, we did have the S25 Ultra win on the left, but let's go to categories and see if things kind of clean up here. We'll go to oil change and maintenance. Have you got your oil changed in a while? Let me know in the comments. You'll see on the left, definitely faster on the left. Let's go ahead and hit up Gemini here on both phones. I think that was faster on the left. Let's hit up Subway Surfers and see how this performs. And you'll see one of the areas that was quicker on the left. One of the areas where the Z Fold should be a little slower than the S25 Ultra is going to be the games. That's where they kind of improved the performance a lot with the 8 Elite chip. Just a lot quicker for gaming performance on your day-to-day operations. Let's go into Brawl Stars. This is going to be a more casual game here, so I don't expect a massive difference in load times. You will see S25 Ultra did come out ahead, but I could kind of tell you which one I would prefer for actually playing the game. It's probably going to be the Galaxy Z Fold 6. It just has a little bit more space, although those black bars don't really make it that much more great. Let's go into 8-ball pool, and you'll see right here. The trade-off though with like the Z Fold versus like a S25 Ultra is that you have to kind of deal with its awkward proportions sometimes, but it kind of can pay off if you really want the larger screen. Let's go into Dead Trigger 2. I actually had a comment the other day. Somebody said, and I don't know if they're watching the video now, but somebody had said, you know, both the iPhone and the S25 Ultra look really outdated compared to my Z Fold 6. And I'm not sure I agree with that, because the Z Fold 6 is kind of still beta to me. I feel like they're still not at their top level of what they could do with this phone. But at the same time, it definitely looks like more innovative. I will give them that. Let's go into Race the Sun. Z Fold 6 is stepping into a different territory altogether, foldables. But foldables haven't been proven to be super popular amongst the mainstream consumers just yet. Like everyone, they do sell quite a bit, but it's not like they're the top phone people are buying. We'll see if that changes when Apple introduces their foldable phone. I wonder if that will change things up. Let's go ahead and head into Call of Duty here now on both phones and see which one can pop into the phone first. And it does look like the S25 Ultra and Z Fold 6 are in pretty close competition here. So far, S25 Ultra slightly ahead. Will it make it to the home screens first? Multiplayer, yes, it looked like the S25 Ultra did win that. I do have to close out some of these. Overall, though, they're not going to be drastically different in games that are well developed, like that one right there. But generally, I just feel like the S25 Ultra kind of just moves along slightly quicker. However, this is Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, so it's going to be good. The 8 Elite should be coming in the Z Fold 7 later this year. You'll see right there on the left, that was to the Samsung. But generally across this entire speed test of these apps, it looked like S25 Ultra was only a tiny fraction of a hair faster. Like if I could kind of define it, it would just be like that. Like not even that, like half of that. It was very small, like in the actual usage there. It wasn't a big deal of difference. All right, so let's take a look at the RAM management here. So far, this phone has been rocking out, crushing it in this area. It's been pretty great. Honestly, it has. And now that we got the good lock module on here, you'll see just coming out of those apps right there are so easy and smooth. Gemini with a little blink. That's happened before. That's nothing new to me. Let's go into X, Play Store, News, Weather, Calculator, Clock, and Calendar. Very nice overall performance there. I am not disappointed whatsoever with that. That was pretty nice. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the Z Fold 6 now. We are going to swipe through basically every single application here as well, and we'll see. I also have the good lock module on this phone as well. So this one can avoid that double swipe to come out of these landscape apps. And so far, I feel like the touch response was a little better on the S25 Ultra. That could be related to the plastic inner display. Let's go to YouTube here. We'll go to Amazon. And we are getting a couple reloads, it looks like so far. Nothing massive though. Z Fold's still performing well. Both of them do have enough RAM to handle your split screen multitasking. But of course, if you want to do things like split screen and putting apps side by side, the Z Fold 6 is definitely going to be the king of that for sure between these two phones. All right, guys, so here we are with the final Geekbench scores, and you'll see we have a 3049 on the left and an 1841 on the right. So a substantial increase in the single core. But the bigger increase is in the multi. We're looking at 9597 multi and 6094 multi on the right. So that is a pretty sizable jump there on both phones from the Z Fold 6 over here to this side. But this doesn't mean that the Z Fold 6 is slow by no means, but the S25 Ultra definitely stepped it up and took it to the next level. Let's go ahead now and look at 3D Mark. We'll do a Wildlife Extreme test and we'll see how they can perform graphically speaking. Hopefully we see some sizable jumps to the 8 Elite over the Z Fold 6. We'll see what happens. All right, guys, so you can see within 3D Mark, we also got 37.95 versus 25.82 with over 2,000 points better on the overall score. So when it actually comes to gaming, this is going to score better than 97% of devices. The Z Fold 6, second best Samsung so far, 87% of devices. Well, second highest price, 87%. So the Samsung S25 Ultra is sizably faster than the Z Fold 6 according to that benchmark. Let's go ahead and run a quick Wi-Fi speed test. We'll see what happens here on the right, see if the connectivity speeds. Same network, so we shouldn't have no major issues. Let me go ahead and let that one run. I'll get the Z Fold 6 on the same server while that is running. And you can see we are coming in at near 420 on the download. But the problem here is that my uploads aren't the fastest. So we'll see how it does here. Let me go over here and see what happens for the Z Fold 6 now. We finished out at 23.8 on the upload there. We'll go ahead and hit Z Fold 6 now. And we should see a similar result if we do have similar performance. But so far, not looking as good even on the same exact network. So we're pulling at 258, 256. So this test is going to be network dependent, but the Z Fold 6 only pulled in 271 on this one, and the upload looking around the same. So these can really just vary depending on the server and depending on the phone. But I want to just check this one more time to make sure that wasn't a fluke. Let me go ahead and close this out, and we'll go ahead and take a look at Speed Test Net here and see if the S25 Ultra definitely does have a little bit more speed there. So now you can see we're kind of pulling in pretty close to that of the S25 Ultra, so 403. So yeah, it was probably just one fluke test. They both do pretty good in this department. So no massive issues there. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and see which one actually can open the camera first. Now I'm going to pull this one to the front screen for this test just because it's a lot easier to reach things. So let's hit camera. And I really couldn't see which one won that out. Let me know your thoughts. I think it was kind of similar. Let's go ahead and do this again. Hold on, I'm messing everything up. Big old phone on the left. Let's go ahead and hit camera. I think it was a Z Fold. I could be wrong. Yeah, but once you're in the camera, we go ahead and take photos. Shutter speed similar. Definitely a different layout. You can see the older One UI 6 layout versus the One UI 7 on the left. Which layout do you prefer? Let me know down below. Anyway, let's wrap it up here. Z Fold 6 definitely, while still potentially more money than the Galaxy S25 Ultra, is significantly behind in performance in terms of the benchmarks. But in the real world usage, it's only a little bit behind. I would say go with S25 Ultra if you want ultimate Samsung performance right now. But if you want ultimate Samsung innovation right now, you're probably looking at the Galaxy Z Fold 6 right here. Thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I will catch you all in the very next episode. Thank you very much for watching. Nick here. Be sure to be well and peace.